One, two, one, two. It's been a while since I've done this. I felt called to be present for a winter solstice channeling. So I will offer an intuitive channeling, which I honestly haven't sat too much with. So this will be rawly channeled in this moment as you see it, as you see me. And then I will be doing readings from my Rider Waite and intuitive tarot decks. It really has been such a while. I'm feeling a little bit nervy. I hope it's not missed from the title of the video that this is not a live in which I'll be offering individual readings. This is one where we'll purely be covering topics on what is coming for the winter solstice, although of course I imagine that quite a few of my viewers are from the other side of the world. So you're going through a summer solstice, in which case celebrations. It's looking really, really wonderful. From what I'm seeing via social media from our end, I really hope you enjoy that. Enjoy the warmth of your season and how it's coming with such life. There's really a buzz. Like, I can feel it all the way from here. There's a buzz that side about summer. It's so nice. This side, though, I'm feeling something a little bit different. I'm not going to lie. While we are tuning into the global buzz of the World Cup and everything, I do think that with those of us on this side, it'll do us justice to pay very close attention to the areas in which you'd think, okay, so the image I'm getting is everybody's celebrating, focused on the World Cup, focused on, summer vibes or the buzzing vibes. You know what I mean? I really do feel like those of us in the Southern Hemisphere, especially in South Africa, are really trying to tap into that. We're trying to keep things alive. We're trying to keep joy alive. And again, jumping, joy. But there's something beneath the surface that needs to be addressed that I think no one wants to address because we don't like being sad. We don't like dealing with, looking at the deck, I have the Three of Swords and the Devil. We don't like dealing with this shit. Eight of Cups. We don't like dealing with loss, especially in this country. Especially in this country. We will groove. We will drink before we cry, which is great. It really does have its perks, the way we can tune into joy. But I do feel with this season, if we don't focus on doing the work of paying attention to everything, not to say we mustn't focus on the joy, enjoy, have fun, but don't neglect the tender parts of you, the sadness, feelings of rejection, abandonment. I'm getting a lot of triggers that come, a lot of situations that trigger those sensations, and people sort of going, oh, well, it doesn't matter. And you move on. But it actually does matter. And it really did get you deep inside. And that place that it struck you, it's going to grow and fester. And then for us, I believe by the time our blooming season comes, spring and summer, all of that festering will explode. And then instead of having fun in our hot girl summers, we're going to be too busy processing all of the sadness and shit that we tried to put down during this time now when we should be tending to it. The contraction, the cold, the going within, I think it's exactly for things like this. Slow down in that sense. Really pay attention. Really be willing to cry, like wail like you're a baby, release that part, let it, or shed it, I don't know what this action is. Cleanse yourself of it. Release it for good. If there's any time that you can allow yourself grace to isolate, be a little bit rotten, and have maybe hard reactions, be a little bit aggressive, be a little bit of a monster. If there was any time in life where you could do that, now is the time, and trust you will be forgiven. And in situations where you are not forgiven, know that is conflict that needed to come up, and it was all fated. But overall, you will always be forgiven. There is this like tenderness, there's this returned tenderness that's waiting to meet us where we're at if we're willing to be honest about the way we feel when we feel those things. So again, try not to. So I think it's most important, actually, especially for us South Africans, Southern Hemisphere, Black people. Try your best to stay away from alcohol. Well, not stay away from it completely, but anytime you engage with it very consciously. It feels like there's something about alcohol. There's been something about alcohol, but it feels like there's something building about alcohol that, if not tended to, will really bring out people's monsters in a way that will cause danger. I know we're not, especially people in this country, we're not strangers to that. But I think that whatever's growing can happen to people who you'd never think that they do that. Like, people are going to act out, you know? It's going to be a thing where whatever's growing, yeah, I'm feeling a lot of people looking towards people who, once alcohol's in their system, is like, who are you? You know, what is this? Where is this coming from? Just complete bewilderment. That can be painful. I am feeling a lot of pain too, but like I said, it's because it needs to be shed. So it's going to rise up because it needs to be shed. Please be aware of that. Remember that as you feel through that stuff, as external situations trigger that stuff, because sometimes it also will be the case where such intense things, so these cards that they're here, it's so relevant. Such intense things will happen externally, where you'll think to yourself, there's no way. Is this God? Yes, it is, babe. It is God. Believe it or not. And that's the light and the dark of God. But it's all love. There are some things that need to be triggered up. There are some pains that you need to feel through. You need to release it. And you also need to know that on the other side of it, you're still okay. Some of us have a built anticipation to the experience of pain, where the anticipation of feeling the pain ends up being worse than the pain itself. Then we feel the pain, we process it. On the other side, it turns out it was okay. Mostly because you always have the capabilities of processing that pain, right? It's not unfamiliar pain. It's pain that's yours. So all of this pain that we may feel through this season, no, it's yours. It's going to come up. It's yours to cry about. Release it. It's not the big bad monster that it can tend to feel like when it leads up to feeling it. You know what I mean? Really let life happen, and let life happen honestly. I highly recommend that you be as authentic to yourself as possible. Stop hanging around people you don't want to hang around with. Stop giving space and time, patience to people who you frankly just don't feel like giving it to anymore. I think that people who tune into my work have been patient enough. And now is not the time to think about, or rather, now is not the time to prioritize that. Now it's time to prioritize your truth. And a lot of your truth is going to come up. I think we're going to find out a lot of things about ourselves. Ourselves. During the season. We're going to find out the full range of how fucked up we can be. And how much we can feel that's so fucked up. And how it's okay. It might be a little bit uncomfortable to share and show to people. Consider sharing it with at least one person. There's at least one person in your life, guaranteed, who can accept you for who you are. And it can be really chilled. Like, hey, today I really felt like killing myself. I really did. It just overcame me. I don't know. Or just anything. There's at least one person in your life who will accept it. Genuinely. And if by chance you're not comfortable with finding that person quite yet, look in the mirror and say it out loud to yourself. I find that helps me a lot, especially with processing the dark stuff. If as I'm processing the dark stuff, I'm looking at myself in my eyes, it's very grounding to understand what's going on. You know what I mean? Because also at the end of the day, and my beloved Essie is someone who touched on this, I think, about a day ago. It's not about being a good person. Fuck being a good person. Being good is so played out. Nobody cares about that anymore. And toxic, non-toxic. You're toxic. Everybody's toxic. Everybody's toxic, okay? Children are toxic. We need to fly past that. It's about what remains even through that. There is something pure and beautiful and whole and just so like hopeful and willing and so many other things. There are so many other things that I can't name that are so wonderful about you that still remain even when you are a piece of shit, even when you're not good, even when you feel like stealing, even when you feel like being a two-faced hoe. Like, these are very human parts of us is what I'm trying to say, not to encourage all of that, but these are very human parts of us that we need to come to terms with. I believe that winter is always the perfect season to do that, but I feel something very special about this one, considering the year that we're in, where we can really accelerate our shadow work so long as we're willing to be honest about it. So really, just be honest. Truth as shadow work. Truth is light work and shadow work. But this is the season, I think, that we can start to understand truth as shadow work. And it just takes being honest with yourself. And with everything about how you feel. So there's an experience that I used to have when working through this part of my insecurity, where I would see someone joyful or extra flamboyant or just someone who's just like really themselves but very about it. Leos, people who have been around me long enough know I had a disdain for Leos. And part of the truth shadow work exploration had to be me asking myself, but why do you have such an issue with them? With their flamboyancy and their extraness? Are they in your space? If they are loud, then you can just leave. But then you'd be the only one leaving. Why? So I had to sit with myself, really sit with myself and be like, why are you such a hating ass bitch? And then at the end of that, just kiss myself on the head and be like, yeah, it's okay. I get it. We love you. You know, you're still loved. You're still okay. It's fine. At the end of the day, really, as long as you're not hurting others or yourself, it's whatever, man. It's whatever. And people are adults as well. Everybody, this entitlement that I'm calling it to divinity and a connection to God and the benevolence and kindness of the world, everybody has access to it. So you don't have to feel sorry for anyone. You don't have to feel obliged to save anyone. Everybody's blessed. We're all blessed. What we see in the embodiment of each individual is their own relationship, dharma, belief of how blessed or abundant they are. If you can ground yourself in that, I think it'll be really helpful as well to keep connected to your own energy. Yeah. I feel like that's all I have to offer. I grabbed for the cards very subconsciously, so I think I'm going to close the intuitive offering at that, although I just want to see if I'm really done. I feel like that's all I have to offer. I hope it's not, it's not forgotten that you must enjoy yourself. Continue to enjoy yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. But please don't bypass the pain that needs to be felt when it comes up. And that's it. I would also recommend keeping in touch with lemon and vitamin C and all of that stuff. There is a special experience about the flu that's been spreading around. Yes, flu fine, but there's something about it that adds this extra layer of pain, suffering. Woe is me. So bear that in mind when you process it, that it can help to look at the disease as a frequency thing as you heal through it, but also stay in front of it and keep your immune system strong. Oh, I love this. Imagine this as a opening energy. That is such a beautiful sign. Such a beautiful sign. Um, wow, what is that? Ah, it came out again. Okay. The Three of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Sun. The Tower beneath the deck. The Three of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Sun. The way that they fell out here, I'm imaging a story of someone, as I said, being brave enough to conquer their pain and their heartbreak, all while still being joyful. But you have to have the willingness to feel has to be there. You have to feel. I love it. This actually fully supports the intuitive channeling that I gave. I literally wouldn't have to speak anymore because I've said everything that I said. Yeah, beware of those external situations that I mentioned before that that happen to break you open, where you're like, there's no way. This has to be God. Let it be God, and then surrender to that. I find that going through tower moments, external tower moments, when I just give it to God and I hand it over and say, this must be you, it feels a lot better. It brings a holiness to the experience, to the pain. It allows for there to be a necessity about it, where you are more willing to surrender and face it, process it, with the knowing that it's just temporary and that it's part of your dharma. It's part of your dharma. Universal law is playing out, I think, during the season. So with the presence of all of this, look at this. It's incredible. The sun, the tower, justice. Lots of moments of coincidences. Again, knowing that it's God, your ancestors, your soul, the other worlds. Also very liable to come alive during this season. I believe winter is when the veil is ice thin, which is so fun because all you'd have to do is just flick it and then it cracks. It's like, what? So yeah, that there's a lot of funness in that experience, I think. Lots to be revealed. Lots of moments of what? Huh? What? I never thought of it like that before. Oh my gosh, what? That was happening the whole time? Why didn't you tell me? Oh yeah, why didn't you tell me? I think you should make room for how much people will be able to understand your pain. It seems like maybe a lot of us, because of how alone we've been in our journeys and how alone we are used to being, we forget that we forget the value in relationality and how you really are understood by someone. There is somebody who understands you. You're not as lonely as your story has led you to think. Affirmations, babe. Binaural what's. Meditation. Focus on getting the mind right. Oh, and the nervous system. Yes. The nervous system. Consider how much pain is stored in your nervous system and how much of your body's reaction is due to some pain that you didn't process. Then as you go about these somatic practices and work of releasing, if by chance you decide to do that, be aware of how it will bring things up and how it will tend to rock your world in ways that where it might not make sense, but you'll find that maybe a day after you start practicing somatic work, suddenly you are very sad. You are crying. It's because of that somatic work. I started a new breathwork practice, and for about 3 days after that, I was extremely sad and depressed, sensitive. My heart literally felt like it was It brought me to the realization that I could die of heartbreak because the pain, the crying, the crying. Yeah. So when you dabble in that stuff, do so with caution and reverence. If by chance you want to ground yourself more, and I obviously highly recommend this with all of this esoteric stuff that I recommend often, you need to do reverent research towards the source of the practice. Yeah. Or at least be still with it. Meditate or something. Pause as you practice it. Pause as you carry the ritual out. Do it slowly, Everything you can to show respect towards it. Don't fuck around and find out. This feels really operative to me as the action energy, as what you can do forward. So the mind keeps coming up. Anytime you find yourself feeling sad inexplainably, outside of the somatic work, if you've been doing it, then work on the mind, affirm the mind, literally fix the thoughts, repeat it over and over again. Sometimes I sound like a psycho in my head, but it helps to be like, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be me. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. It really does fix the frequency. Rely on that. The presence of the sun rounds it all up together. So again, even with this possibly serious energy I've been delivering with all the processing we're going to have to do, the light is cracking through. It's a beautiful process, beautiful, necessary process. And even through the pain, I do believe that you'll be able to be aware of that. The light is cracking through. It's going to be like a moment of deep grief. I'm imaging a moment of deep grief. For example, it's a gray day. You're crying so deeply with grief, and then just as you finish crying, the clouds clear up and the sun starts to shine. Moments like that will happen to support and, to support the pain and to show you mostly that God is with you. The whole of life is with you like that. The whole of life will angle towards giving you a moment to cry and then giving you sun right after you finish crying to show you you're loved. That's how loved you are. Understand? So I get so passionate about this part of the discussion that we are loved, because it's so true, and it's just like we are so loved. Just tapping into the idea as I feel it now, we are so loved that it's actually ridiculous that we walk around with such fear. It's like you actually, oh my God, you don't understand how loved you are. Oh my God, you don't understand how loved you are. That's how it feels. That's how it feels. And I forget all the time too. So I'm grateful to be feeling this in this moment right now. I'm so grateful. I just saw the 6 of rods. I'm going to put it back though because it didn't fall out properly. Love that. 7 of rods. Love that. Oh, cute. And I'm seeing the Queen of Discs and the star. This is so positive. It's a really beautiful time. It's going to be beautiful. 10 to the home. That's also another suggestion. You have the Queen of Swords again. Do you see that? 10 to your home. Stay at home. Stay home. That can be something that protects the immune system. Stay at home. Doll your home up. Get some flowers. Be one of those people that has flowers in rotation in your home all the time. If you must, for your own joy, for your own sense of connection to beauty. That might be important. Striving, achievement, reaching for a high goal. Upbeat, positive attitude against all odds. New, exciting opportunities will be offered. Life changes through a step outside your normal boundaries. And there's definitely going to be a lot of that shit this season, clearly. Outside of normal boundaries for real. Lots of sensations of discomfort, but all totally doable. Do you hear that? Let me read it for you again. New exciting opportunities will be offered. I love how she put that. It's very objective and factual. And yes, it's like a fortune cookie. So beautiful. I hope that we all enjoy what the season has to offer in terms of lessons and growth. I think that we'll also get a chance to look at this phase of our life and understand how important it was for the greater picture. 20 years from now, we'll look back at this time and be like, oh yeah, that's the time when everything changed. It was around 2026, 2027, 2028. Yeah. We're in crazy times. It's so crazy. If you don't understand it, then you don't have to understand it. But just know that we are so, so, so blessed to be alive right now. Thank you so much for everybody who tunes into my work, for the subscriptions and comments, for all of the support in any way. I'm so grateful. If ever you're looking for more, feel free to send me an email, DM, reach out to me via social media. I'll try my best to get back to you. And I will see you in the next one.